Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today we are going to tackle a topic that, let's be honest, affects a ton of men, especially once you get over 50, prostate health. We're going to build a really practical, straightforward guide. This isn't about scaring you, it's about empowering you. It's about understanding the simple choices you can make every day that can make a huge difference for your health and comfort down the road.
I want to start with this quote because, man, it just hits the nail on the head. This is exactly what so many men feel. You know, the symptoms of an enlarged prostate, that constant feeling like you have to go, waking up all night, never feeling like you've really emptied your bladder. It might not be sharp pain, but it just wears you down. It chips away at your quality of life, your sleep, your energy. So many guys just think, well, I guess this is just getting older. But it really, really doesn't have to be that way.
And this is exactly why we need to talk about it. Think about this number. By the time a man hits 80, almost 8 out of 10 will have an enlarged prostate. That is a staggering number. It basically makes it a probability, not just a possibility. But here's the really interesting part. While that statistic is high, your outcome is not set in stone. How bad your symptoms get, how much they impact your life, you actually have a surprising amount of control over that.
Okay, so if we're going to take control, we first have to understand what we're actually up against. So let's start with the absolute fundamentals. What is the prostate, and why on earth does it start causing problems as we get older? Understanding the why is always the first step to figuring out the how to fix it.
So the condition we're talking about is called benign prostatic hyperplasia, or just BPH for short. Now, the most important word there is benign. This isn't cancer. It's simply that this little walnut-sized gland starts to get bigger. And its location, well, its location is everything. It sits right under your bladder, and it wraps around the urethra. That's the tube that urine flows through. So you can imagine, right? Even a tiny bit of growth starts to squeeze that tube, kind of like putting a clamp on a garden hose. And that simple mechanical problem is the root cause of all those frustrating symptoms.
So why does it grow in the first place? Well, it all comes down to a natural shift in your hormones. As guys get older, testosterone levels start to slowly go down. At the same time, a much more potent version of testosterone, called DHT, can start to build up inside the prostate itself. And DHT, you can think of it like a powerful fertilizer for the prostate, signaling those cells to multiply and grow. This slow, steady hormonal change over years is really the main engine driving BPH.
Now, while this hormone shift happens to all of us, some guys are at a higher risk. Of course, age is the #1 factor. But family history is a big one. If your dad or your brother had BPH, your own risk can be up to 4 times higher. But here is the most important point I want you to hear. Your genes are not your destiny. Look at these other factors. Metabolic syndrome, which includes things like obesity and diabetes and chronic inflammation. These are huge drivers of prostate growth, and they are directly tied to your lifestyle. This is where your power to change things really comes into play.
And you know, one of the most powerful ways to manage those lifestyle factors is sitting right on your dinner plate. The food you eat every single day can either help protect your prostate from all that inflammation, or it can quietly work against you. So let's look at how to build a diet that really fuels your defense.
What's so cool about this is how specific you can get. Cooked tomatoes are at the top for a great reason. When you cook them, they release something called lycopene, which is a powerful antioxidant that helps protect the cells in your prostate. So think tomato sauce, tomato paste. Then you've got veggies like broccoli and cauliflower, which help your body's natural detox systems. And of course, healthy fats from things like walnuts and olive oil, and the stuff in green tea. It all works together to fight that low-grade inflammation we were talking about. It's like you're giving your body an arsenal of tools to defend itself.
Now, on the flip side, some foods can actually encourage inflammation. Diets that are really heavy in red and processed meats, saturated fats, and lots of full-fat dairy can kind of throw your hormones out of whack and create an environment where the prostate is more likely to grow. But listen, the goal here isn't to be perfect. It's not about total deprivation. It's about balance, about making smart swaps. Maybe trade a few red meat meals for fish that's rich in omega-3s. It's those small, consistent changes that add up and have a huge protective effect over time.
All right, so we're building on that foundation of a healthy diet. Let's talk about the second pillar of your defense, movement. Beyond what you eat, how you move your body is truly one of the best medicines for your prostate. Your body was designed to move, and regular activity, it's just not negotiable for long-term health.
And it doesn't have to be some crazy, extreme workout plan. Just look at this number, 30 minutes. That's it. Studies have shown that just 30 minutes of a brisk walk 5 days a week can lead to a significant drop in BPH symptoms. That's literally the length of a TV show. When you move, you reduce inflammation, you improve blood flow to your whole pelvic area, and you help your body keep a healthier hormone balance.
And that really gets to the most important principle: consistency is way more important than intensity. You don't need to train for a marathon. The real key is to find something you actually like doing, whether that's swimming, or gardening, or cycling, or even dancing. Because when you enjoy it, it's not a chore, it just becomes part of your routine. That steady, moderate activity keeps your whole system in balance and creates an internal environment where that prostate growth is much less likely to happen.
Okay, so you're eating right, you're staying active, that is fantastic. But there are a couple of hidden traps that can sneak up on you and undermine all that great work. It's really important to be aware of what you don't know, because it can absolutely affect you. Let's uncover some of these overlooked factors.
This is a question every single man needs to ask himself. You could be doing everything right with your diet and exercise, but if your urinary symptoms are still getting worse, the bad guy might be hiding in plain sight, right there in your medicine cabinet.
Yeah, a lot of common, everyday drugs, both over-the-counter and prescription, can quietly make urinary symptoms worse. Things like antihistamines for allergies or decongestants for a cold. They can actually tighten the muscles around your bladder, making it even harder to go if your prostate is already enlarged. Certain antidepressants can do it too. Now, the point isn't to just stop taking your medicine, no. The point is to have an open conversation with your doctor. Bring a list of everything you take, prescriptions, over-the-counter stuff, even vitamins, so your doctor has the full picture.
And that leads right into the other key part of being proactive. Please do not wait. Waiting until your symptoms are driving you crazy before you see a doctor, that's just a gamble you don't need to take. Getting regular checkups after age 50, like a PSA blood test and a digital rectal exam, that is your best defense. It lets your doctor catch any changes early when the problem is small and much easier to manage, often with just the lifestyle changes we've been talking about.
So we've covered diet, exercise, medication traps, and getting checked out. But I want to leave you with one last tip. It's a super simple daily habit. It takes less than a minute. It's totally free, and it's something most guys just don't do. But it can have a really big impact on your day-to-day comfort. This is genuinely the simplest change you can put into practice the very next time you go to the bathroom. It doesn't require any pills or any equipment, just a little bit of patience and awareness. It's called the patient bladder technique. So many of us were in a hurry, we rush, we push, we strain to get it done. Instead, I want you to try this. First, don't rush and don't push. Second, consciously relax all your pelvic muscles and just breathe. And third, after you think you're totally done, just wait there for another 30 seconds. By giving your body that little bit of extra time without any pressure, you allow the bladder to empty much more completely. This means less leftover urine, which lowers your risk for infections and just reduces the strain on your bladder in the long run. It's a tiny investment of time for a really big payoff.
We have covered a lot of ground today, from eating cooked tomatoes, to taking a daily walk, to that patient bladder technique. So I'll leave you with a question to think about. Which one new habit from this explainer are you going to try first? You don't have to do all of them at once. Just picking one thing and making that small commitment to yourself, that is the most powerful first step you can possibly take. Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you.
So let's end on this powerful idea. An enlarged prostate might be common, but your personal outcome is not inevitable. You are not just a passenger along for the ride here. Your prostate's future isn't written in stone. It is shaped every single day by the small, consistent choices that you make. You really do have the power to write a much healthier story for yourself.
Thanks for joining us for this explainer. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time.